Welcome to rSlash Am I the Bad Guy, where OP gets his girlfriend fired with dirty pictures. Am I the bad guy for accidentally ruining my girlfriend's career? I'm in a tough spot right now, and I'm not sure if I'm the bad guy or not. My 27-year-old girlfriend is named Sarah, and I'm a 26-year-old guy. We've been together for 3 years. She's always been passionate about her job as a teacher and has worked really hard to build up her career. However, a few weeks ago, I accidentally stumbled upon some photos of Sarah on Instagram that I'd never seen before. They were pictures of her in some very revealing clothing, and some of them were even nude. I was shocked and confronted her about it, and she told me that she used to be a lingerie model before becoming a teacher. She said she stopped doing it because she didn't want it to affect her career, and she thought that I already knew about it. I didn't know how to react at first, but eventually I told a few of my friends about it. One of my friends is a gossip and ended up telling someone who works at the school where Sarah teaches. Long story short, the photos somehow got into the hands of the school board, and Sarah was fired for unprofessional behavior. Sarah is devastated and blames me for ruining her career. She says that I should have kept my mouth shut and that I betrayed her trust. I feel terrible about what happened, but I didn't know that it would lead to this. Am I the bad guy for accidentally ruining my girlfriend's career? I'm going to read this top post from Claire Clary. You're the bad guy. You didn't know how to react at first, but then settled on, let me share my girlfriend's private and obviously career-ending information with a bunch of people whom I know will gossip. Don't tell us that you didn't know this could be a possibility. You knew. You were uncomfortable with your girlfriend's past, and you wanted her to be embarrassed. Well, go you. I hope your next girlfriend is a pure, innocent flower. Pray she's not appalled by anything in your past. Yeah, OP, and you call your friend the gossip? Sounds like you're the gossip, man. OP, I'm giving you 2.5 out of 5 bad guys. Am I the bad guy for telling my grandchildren's father that I don't owe his other children anything? I lost my youngest daughter, Joy, a decade ago. She left behind her husband and 2 children who are now 15 and 16 years old. My daughter was very close to her dad and me, and when she was at her sickest, she begged us to stay in the kids' lives and to make sure they always knew that she loved them and that we were her family just as much. She mentioned how worried she was that her husband would encourage them to forget her and would try to replace her for them with a new woman. She asked that we leave anything we might have left her to her children. We assured her that we would never let our relationship end with our grandkids and that we would make sure that they had a good life and would remember her always. 8 months after she died, her husband moved his now wife into their home. 8 months after his wife died? His new wife already had a baby with someone else and was also expecting a baby from someone else. At that point, he did attempt to make it a package deal where we couldn't see our grandchildren without treating his now stepchildren as our grandchildren, and that we were to treat all future children of his the same. Otherwise, we would need to be cut out to give our grandchildren the chance to form new family bonds without interference from us. He said that his kids deserved the chance to have another mother and to see his new siblings as true siblings. Their lawyer told them that we would have a case to get grandparent visitation rights. We also sought advice on how we could obtain that if we were denied access. We were told that, given our close relationship with the kids, it would be easy to get access through the courts. This led to us getting minimal access, but really, that was all that was needed because our grandkids were glad to see us and their aunts, uncles, and cousins as well. In the last few years, my former son-in-law has found himself estranged from his own family, and his wife's family are no longer in the picture, and he has 6 kids, not counting my grandkids in his home. He has no family or support outside of him and his wife. Now that my grandkids are teenagers, they seek to spend more time with us, and their lives have benefited from that. We admittedly spoil them more than some would like because of the circumstances, but they're wonderful kids. Their father confronted me recently about his other children and how they have no extended family and they're suffering seeing their kids being spoiled. He also said that we've come between our grandkids and their siblings because they're not close, and they've never asked for their siblings to be part of the extended family they have. He told me that I owe it to his kids to step in and give them love and some of the same spoiling. I told him that I don't know his children anything and that I would never forgive him for what he attempted to do before. He told me that I was cold-hearted and callous. Part of me wonders if he's right because the children are innocent. And even though I've never considered them family, they're still young and have nothing to do with my former sister-in-law's actions. Man, OP, your son-in-law tries to deny you access to your blood grandkids and then tries to force you to love your non-blood grandkids. Does that make any sense to anybody? I'm on your side, OP. Considering this guy tried to cut you out of your grandkid's life after you lost your only daughter, that's just honestly unforgivable. I think that I would have had the exact same reaction that you did, OP. You get 0 out of 5 bad guys. I'm giving your former son-in-law 3 out of 5 bad guys. Am I the bad guy for telling my child's daycare teacher that my child won't finish cleaning up? My 2-year-old daughter has been in a home daycare for a few months now. The teacher, Sasha, is very nice. I'm normally all for my daughter cleaning her own messes. However, I find that when I arrive, Sasha expects my daughter to finish cleaning up whatever she was playing with. Which, again, would be fine, but it delays us getting out the door and heading home. Sometimes we have plans. I started texting Sasha when I was so many minutes away, asking her to get my daughter ready, and that seemed to work. My daughter would be in her jacket and reading a book that was easy to put away versus like a huge Duplo project or some other set of toys. Until today. Things were crazy and I was in a rush. We had a lot to do this afternoon, and I was running behind because I had car trouble. When I arrived, my daughter and some other kids were in the middle of cleaning up a big mess. I told my daughter that we had to go and to get her coat. Sasha said that my daughter needed to finish cleaning up her part. I said, any other day, sure, but I'm running late and we can't miss this appointment. Sasha tried arguing that the kids need to learn responsibility, and I flat out said no. I grabbed my daughter, put her coat on, and left. As I said, it was a hectic afternoon, so I only just now had time to check my texts. I had one from Sasha saying that poor planning on my part doesn't mean that I can break rules. I pointed out that this is not in the contract and I can bring my child home whenever I want. She accused me of undermining her authority. I was given a verbal warning, which I found ridiculous. This kind of feels like a no bad guy here situation. Obviously, you can take your kid home whenever you want. She can't be held hostage by a pile of toys that need to be cleaned up. But on the other side of the coin, I mean, Sasha's running her own business, and if the way she wants to run her business is that kids have to clean up their toys before they leave, then that's her right. So I think I'm just going to chalk this up to a difference of opinion and give everyone here 0 out of 5 bad guys. I will say, though, that I'm more on your side than Sasha's side because even though this is technically her business and she can run her business however she wants to, that's not really a great way to run your business. You have to understand that sometimes parents are in a rush and emergencies happen. You can't get all high and mighty and be like, oh, well, emergency on your part, blah, blah, blah. So Sasha wasn't wrong. She's just stupid because that's not a great way to keep your clients happy. Am I the bad guy for telling my sister that she's stupid and toxic for comparing boy-girl parenting? I'm a 33-year-old man, and I'm a single dad to my daughter who's 15. She's my buddy, and I honestly love her so much. My sister, who's 38, has 3 boys, and she's made being a boy mom her entire personality. She always goes on about how she loves being a boy mom and how raising boys is so much easier than having a girl. I usually just ignore it. My daughter is a huge Taylor Swift fan, and I took her to the opener night of the Eras tour. Honestly, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but it was really fun seeing my daughter have so much fun and just overall being so happy. Last night I was over at my mom's, and my daughter pretty much only wanted to talk about the concert. My sister happened to be there too. My daughter talked about having to wait about an hour to get merchandise. My sister laughed and ended up going on a rant saying that she's so glad that she doesn't have a daughter and how easy it is raising boys compared to girls. And she even went as far as to say that she feels bad for me having to be a girl dad. My daughter didn't want to talk anymore and was clearly upset by my sister's words. That was very upsetting to me. I told my sister that she was so wrong to say those things, especially in front of my daughter. and that she's toxic and honestly stupid for thinking raising boys is easier than raising girls. I told her she needs to find a new personality outside of being a boy mom. She ended up leaving while calling me the biggest a-hole. My mom also accused me of being rude and basically a butthole because my sister just loves her boys, and I shouldn't judge her for thinking girls would be more difficult to raise. So, am I the bad guy? Alright, hold on. The problem here isn't that your sister is assuming that girls are more difficult to raise than boys. The problem is that she's openly insulting your daughter to her face. Basically, what she was saying is that your daughter's interests and hobbies are a burden to you, and that you would be better off if she just didn't exist, or if she was a boy instead. That is so deeply insulting. And then they get mad at you for sticking up for your daughter, exactly the thing that a dad should be doing? I honestly have to wonder if your sister doesn't secretly want a daughter, and all this whole being a boy mom is so great is just her projecting and coping because she didn't get what she really wanted, which is a girl. In any event, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 bad guys. Good job for sticking up for your daughter. I'm giving your sister 2 out of 5 bad guys. Am I the bad guy for making my 12-year-old son take care of himself and his 10-year-old brother for a week? I came home about a month ago, and I caught my son yelling at his mom about his clothes. He was asking her how hard it was to make sure his clothes were cleaned. I took him to the laundry room and made him do laundry for the family. I taught him what clothes could be washed together and what can't. My wife is a teacher, and she works her butt off to make sure that we have a nice home to live in. She tells me what she needs me to do, and I take care of it. Beyond my normal share of the housework, I mean. Well, my kid needs to be punished, and I thought of the best possible way to do it. I'm sending my wife to Mexico with her school friends over spring break. I'm going to work from home that week and keep an eye on the kids. It won't be difficult because I'm putting the older one in charge of the younger one. He'll be doing laundry, making breakfast and lunch for both of them, and making sure the kitchen and dining room stay clean. He said that it's unfair to make him work over spring break. I asked him if he thought that it was a full-time job to do all that I was expecting of him. He said, yeah, it is a full-time job. I pointed out that his mother and I both have full-time jobs, and we still manage to do everything that he's whining about. He called my mom to see if he could stay there for spring break. She tried to tell me that I was being cruel to her poor baby. I asked her, what exactly would you and my father have done to me if I had yelled at you for not doing my laundry? She said that this is different. I said that he could stay with her if she was willing to tell him, in front of me, all the punishment I endured when I lived at home. She said that he couldn't stay with him. Man, this is a weird post. Okay, OP, I think the punishment that you're imposing upon your kid is actually very appropriate. A week of chores to sort of teach him what these chores actually mean is really, really fitting. But what's weird is, where is he getting this behavior from? Kids usually don't just start yelling at their parents out of nowhere, so I can't tell if the mother is spoiling the kid, which is possible, or if he's just caught up in misogyny YouTube, where men are men and women do work for men, and he's kind of got brainwashed by that a little bit, but you have to find the root cause. Otherwise, this lesson isn't really going to stick. What's also really weird to me is how your wife is undermining you. You said that you sent your wife to Mexico for a week-long vacation, and the wording of that to me would indicate that you're paying for it. So it's like a gift that you're giving her. So you're giving her a week-long vacation, and her response is to call you up and undermine your parenting? I think you're doing a great job parenting, so why is she trying to second guess you and play sides against your kid? I'm starting to think that the reason why your son is entitled is because your mom made him that way. I can't really back it up with hard evidence, but that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this post. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 bad guys, OP. Sounds like you're doing the best job you can. Am I the bad guy for telling my wife that she isn't a princess? For the past several months, my wife has been eerily acting like a child. I understand that she's playing with our daughter, but it comes across as weird to me just how far she plays the role. For example, our daughter wanted a mini pizza, so she asked me to make her one. I went to make her the pizza, and then my wife said, "Me too, because I'm a princess too." I told her, "No, you're an adult, not a princess. I'll make you one, but you're an adult." My wife laughed nervously and said, "Okay, never mind." Our daughter heard that and said, "Dad, Mom is a princess too." I just said, agreeing. but I didn't want to have to explain it to her. I did feel bad because my wife changed out of her princess clothes too, but I don't know whether this whole ordeal makes me a bad guy. Oh man. Oh, I love this top comment. It's so good. From Nailgun198. The only correct no response to I'm a princess too was, no you're not. You're a queen. You're the bad guy, OP. Yeah, OP, why are you so mean? Like, there's no other way to put it. You're just being mean and grouchy for no reason, like the Grinch, basically. Your wife is dressed up like a princess, and presumably your daughter is too, and they're playing Princess Teacup Pizza Party or whatever, and you're like, my wife isn't a princess, you're an adult. Figure it out, lady. Why? What is wrong with you? Like, if your wife is a princess, doesn't that make you a prince? Or if she's the queen, that makes you the king? Just play along, you meanie pants. OP, I'm giving you 2 out of 5 bad guys. I feel bad for your wife and your daughter. You know, OP, my daughter's been really fascinated by airplanes lately, so when she sees one, she'll do like the Naruto run where you bend over and you put your hands out like behind you and you run, because she's trying to run like an airplane. And I run too. I run with her and I'm like, I'm an airplane. And like, do you understand, OP, that when I do that, I don't actually think that I'm an airplane. I'm doing this thing called play pretend. Does that like, do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? That was r/Am I the A, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.